we will talk about teaching and learning in a professional learning community. In the Fond du Lac School District, teachers and administrators work together as a professional learning community, or PLC, to serve the students of our community. The mission of the Fond du Lac School District, in partnership with the family and the community, is to promote high achievement and foster the continuous growth of the whole child, so that each becomes a creative, contributing citizen in a global society by providing personalized learning opportunities in a safe, nurturing environment. That's a powerful statement, but what does it mean? It means that every adult in our schools commits to taking each student where he or she begins and moving him or her toward the achievement of grade level expectations or better, and the eventual goal of graduating high school prepared for his or her desired future. How do we achieve this goal? We invest in the professional learning community model. A professional learning community is a collaboration of teachers, administrators, parents, and students who work together to seek out best practices, test them in the classroom, continuously improve processes, and focus on results. Why is this collaboration critical to success? Collaboratively, members of a learning community relentlessly question the status quo, seek new methods of teaching and learning, test the results, and then reflect on the results. What work do professional learning communities engage in to improve teaching and learning? Rick DeFore has outlined 4 key questions that PLCs answer together. Question 1. What do we want students to know and be able to do? When answering question 1, teams must begin by examining their standards. In Fond du Lac, our teachers work together to identify the power standards for each course and grade level. Power standards define the key things that all students must know and be able to do by the end of the year or course. After teams have identified their power standards, they engage in a process for unwrapping their standards. The primary goal in the unwrapping process is to identify the smaller learning targets that exist within the standard. These targets are used to plan daily instruction and define proficiency. The final step that teams undertake as part of answering question 1 is to create proficiency scales. A proficiency scale organizes the learning targets found within the standard into performance levels. The proficiency scale defines clearly the expectations for student learning. The proficiency scale is not only a key part of planning for instruction, but it is also valuable in providing specific feedback to students on how they can improve their learning. The second question that a PLC answers is, how will we know that students have learned what we set out to teach them? Question 2 causes teams to determine how they will assess student learning. Using the proficiency scales written for each power standard, teacher teams develop their assessments. Assessments, both formative and summative, are leveled, meaning questions are included that allow students to demonstrate their learning at multiple levels. All assessments clearly define the specific standard or standards being assessed, so that students and families know what is being assessed. Students are given multiple opportunities to demonstrate that they have reached a level 3 learning for the standard. If students or the teacher request a reassessment, the teacher and the student work together to determine what steps the student will take to improve his or her learning prior to reassessing, including reteaching, additional practice, etc. The third question a PLC answers is, What will we do if students don't learn what we set out to teach them? This question requires teams to engage in data analysis. After administering an assessment, formative or summative, teams meet to analyze the student data and information gathered. Teams analyze group trends within the data to determine if large group reteaching might be needed. Teams also analyze individual student trends to determine if reteaching or intervention might be required. If the team determines reteaching or intervention is required for one, some, or all students, collaboratively the team plans for this reteaching or intervention. The team determines who will deliver the reteaching or intervention and for which students. The team plans what the reteaching or intervention might include. After the reteaching or intervention has occurred and a new assessment has been administered, the team meets again to analyze the data to see if their goal has been met. The fourth question a PLC answers is, what will we do if students already know what we are planning to teach them? Much like question 3, this question requires data analysis and team planning. When analyzing student assessment data, it may become clear that some students have already shown proficiency on the standard or learning target being taught. If this is the case, the team determines how the differentiation needs of those students will be met. This could happen through planning ahead for these needs through the use of universal design for learning, and it could also happen through enrichment offerings during the grade level's intervention and enrichment block. Professionals in a learning organization recognize that no matter how well-intentioned the efforts, the only valid judgment of improvement is observable and measurable results. PLC teams measure their impact through the use of SMART goals, which are monitored regularly. In a professional learning community, all members of the professional learning community work together to meet the needs of all students.
Created using Powtoon.